Every excuse you make is valid. All the things you say to yourself, every single obstacle that you may think you have, it's all valid. However you were made, what disadvantages you have, what things are against you, all these things are valid. But the thing is, making the excuses feels good because you don't have to take action. It's almost like a way to tap out quicker. But the truth is, you cannot use excuses forever because at some point you do want to change your situation, right? So the only way to do that is if you find a way to have the benefits and the why outweigh the excuses. So this video, I'm going to tell you how to do that. So it's a very addictive thing to be a victim, to point out all the disadvantages and everything, to focus on the bad news, and to focus on really all the excuses. And like I said before, the excuses is always going to be valid. And to be honest with you, the volume of excuses there are compared to the benefits is a lot more. But the benefits has a long-term gratifying feeling once you get it. So a few ways you can stop making excuses and start taking action to make those goals become a reality. So you got to ask yourself a few questions. Question one, how important is this to me? This question right here tells me if you want it or if you don't. Question number two, is this something I have to have? Based on your answer, it also tells me where your level is at to the goals you keep saying you want, but you're doing nothing about. Question number three, how sick am I of my situation right now? Pain is the one thing that motivates a lot of people to get out of their situation. And it takes some of us to get to that point to where they're put at adversity to really get in a position where they finally feel motivated. But if you're not somebody that has that kind of urgency, you have to find it within yourself. And that's where the why is going to come from. Because with that why, you can then start, be consistent in the things you're going to do, and most of all, take the actions you need to. Question number four you're going to ask yourself is, what's my patience level to stay in the situation I'm at? Basically the same question, but this question, the main difference is really how long are you gonna tolerate the situation you're in right now. If you really want to get out of your situation, the excuses won't matter anymore. If somebody gets obese and the doctor says if you don't lose a certain amount of pounds you're gonna die, that's when they find urgency. But you don't want to get to that point. You want to get to the root of the problem as soon as possible so you don't get to that point. You know what I mean? And these are the questions you ask yourself to find that why in you to do the things you're supposed to. Because it's easy to want things, it's easy to have goals, but it's also easy to make excuses on why you can't do it. You know what I mean? So it has to start today. You have to count 3 seconds and start. That's number one. You have to finally, when you're in those activities, take it one step at a time, one day at a time, 1 minute at a time, 1 week at a time. It's really gonna have to be that condensed to the point it becomes a habit again. But if you keep having all these goals you say you want and you do nothing about it, it speaks more to you. It speaks to you wanting to be the victim and making the excuses to feel better about taking no action. When is it gonna stop? You did say you want these goals. You did say you want to accomplish these things. So why aren't you doing it? Is it money? Is it genes? Is it knowing a certain group of people? Is it advantages, disadvantages? We see people in this world doing amazing things with disadvantages. We see people starting from $0 and being millionaires. We see people with bad genes looking great. So what's the excuse? The excuses are always going to be there. But the only way to change the situation is taking actions. Motivation becomes a thing that is BS because it won't always be there. It's going to be about discipline and doing the things you don't want to, whether you feel like it or not. You have to find it in you to do that by asking yourself those questions and counting down 3 seconds and starting. Those are really I'll keep it simple and give you just those two things. Ask yourself questions and find a way to do a little bit at a time. Count 3 seconds and do it. Time yourself for 30 minutes to work out and start working out. If you don't want to do schoolwork, get on the chair, put a timer for 30 minutes, and do as much as you can. If you can't do that, put a timer on the 3 minutes. You will realize after 3 minutes, you're in the zone, you're in a flow state, which is where you want to get to. But the excuses have to stop at some point, people. If something is truly important to you, you find a way. If it's not, you find excuses. And excuses is a long list. But the benefits is something that'll last forever. Because the benefits came from building habits and getting over not feeling like it. Because you'll never feel like doing the things you're supposed to. You'll always feel like taking the easy route. If I gave somebody two options, they're gonna pick the easier option. It's a human instinct. But you gotta find it in you to do the things you're supposed to, whether you feel like it or not. Whether if you're the only person in your friend group doing it. You have to set yourself apart. Because if excuses are always gonna be valid. And since they're always gonna be valid, it makes it even more dangerous for you to stay in your situation if you don't take action. So I hope this video motivates you to do something about the situation and not to let it make you a victim. Because victims stay in their position. Victims don't move. But people that find a way to get around obstacles, jump over, push the obstacles aside, will succeed. Not because they have all the advantages in the world or because they're better, but because they're willing to try. And they're willing to take action. What are you gonna do? This is Darren Mulo. Thank you for watching the video. Like, share, subscribe to the channel. I'll see everybody after. Like always, get better every day. Optimize yourself.